Howdy, hello, and welcome to the 9th episode of the Preferred Podcast. I'm your host, director, producer, writer, composer, editor, actor, PA, CEO, and janitor, Sajay Preferred.
And I'm the Heart of Alabama and the co-host of this prestigious podcast, Amber Valentine.
The Preferred Podcast. With more Drag Race comes more podcasts.
And this week is no exception.
So let's get into it with today's topic of slay.
Slay.
Many drag entertainers make their living from doing this, but it's something we both definitely struggle at. This week's topic of slay is celebrity impersonations. Why am I having deja vu right now?
Deja vu.
Deja vu?
Deja who?
Deja vu.
Deja sky?
Not fair. Anyways, so let's get into it. Drag celebrity impersonation. So obviously pretty simple. Drag queens whose main specific is dressing up as a celebrity.
Derek.
Yeah, correct. Which,
Chad Michaels.
we're going to get into them. But what are some common celebrities who are known to be impersonated by drag queens? The first one that comes to mind, Cher.
Yeah.
Like, comment, share.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And Dolly Parton.
Yep.
Dolly Parton, I feel like, is another one. Britney Spears.
Yep.
Beyonce.
Trisha Paytas.
Trisha Paytas. Yeah. Well, I guess it's not more of like a celebrity. I guess she's.
But so many people.
Well, she was on Big Brother, so yeah, I guess she is a celebrity. I totally forgot about that era.
Judy Garland.
Judy Garland.
Mm-hmm.
No. Barbara Streisand. There's a bunch of them. The point being is that a lot of people. How did we forget Tina Turner?
Tina Turner.
Duh. There's a lot of... Girl, we off topic today. There's a lot of entertainers who do this. It's very common, actually. It was more so common in the older days. I feel like, we talked about drag, and the beginning of drag. There was Adam, there was... And there was Steve.
It was Adam and Steve.
And Steve got into the relationship and, up. But anyways, point being of this whole conversation is I feel like it was very popular in the early days because they believed that it meant dress real as girl. And if you're doing this as a sense of like, ooh, I'm gonna be a star, you're gonna dress as a star. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I feel like that makes sense. Mm-hmm. As drag entertainers, we kind of took that and was like, well, let's take a spin on it. You know what I mean? And I guess there's still common ones these days. Like I feel like there's Doja Cat ones. Billie Eilish is another one. Going with the most popular entertainers who do this, Chili Pepper is the one that comes to my mind immediately, who does Tita Tenta.
Yep.
Then you have Chad Michaels, who does Cher. And then you have Britney...
I mean, if the shoe fits, call Cinderella girl.
Let it be known. You have Derek Barry, who does Britney Spears, a.k.a. it's just Britney Spears all the time.
Literally, yeah.
But so on and so forth. There's so many.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's some that are not so well known.
Lady Bunny is Lady Bunny.
Of course. Of course. But when it comes to impersonating celebrities, this is something I suck at. And no offense, this is something you suck at. Don't know if you knew this, but I'm telling you this now. Mm-hmm. Just to break the ice.
Girl, I already know I do.
Okay.
To be fair, I've also never even tried, so...
Yeah. I
feel like I'd be really bad at it, though.
We're authentically ourselves, so it's
and it's definitely not that.
Yeah. If we had to impersonate someone, just for, let's say, we were having a show, and they were like, you have to come as a celebrity, who would you do?
Honestly, I think I can get away with, like, Katy Perry or Jessie J.
Okay. I could really see that. I could really see Katy Perry. And also, random side note that I recently have dwelled myself into, Katy Perry is very pretty. Mm-hmm.
And she's hilarious,
Not
too.
as a blonde. She's very pretty. Not as a blonde. Not for me.
Her black hair.
Yeah, her black hair is... And even now, like, she has black hair now.
Mm-hmm.
So she's stunned. When it comes to doing songs, do you have not someone who you necessarily impersonate? Do you have someone, though, that you kind of, like, idolize music-wise and do a lot to the point where it would, like, kind of be seen as,
Katy
like...
Perry. Honestly, probably Katy Perry or Kesha. Maybe even Meghan Trainor, because those are really the three that I do.
I could see Meghan Trainor, yeah. I would say mine would probably be Dolly Parton or... I mean, really, that's it. That's the Dua Lipa. Maybe
You'll
her.
repeat.
Those are the only people I really constantly repeat song-wise. But speaking of celebrity impersonations, we mentioned Chad Michaels and Britney Spears. And Derek Barry. Derek Barry kind of always impersonates Britney Spears because that's something that she did as a job before Drag Race, and so it's kind of mentally stuck in her head.
Don't quit your day job, sweetie.
Literally. But Chad Michaels really has only done it on occasion. Since Drag Race, it's kind of been more.
And Chad Michaels just recently made an appearance on
Yes.
season 16.
During the Snatch Game, which is where Chad Michaels originally was known for doing her share on Drag Race.
And she looked stunning. She was literally everything.
But Snatch Game is a little bit different because it is celebrity impersonations, but it's a different aspect of celebrity impersonations with drag, because you can do actors, you can do comedians, you can do politicians, you can do made up people.
And it's specifically comedy.
Yeah, but it's still celebrity related. Right. It's a
you just gotta make them funny.
It's a mock of the old game Match Game, which was a celebrity game where you played and you tried to make matches, you know what I mean, while in a cubicle. When it comes to celebrity impersonations and Snatch Game, do you have any people that stand out as really good celebrity impersonators besides the ones we already talked about?
Trinity and the Vivian.
Trinity is someone who you really wouldn't expect being a very good impersonator, but she is.
And it's because she picks the right people.
Exactly.
It's that she picks people that she can make funny. And the Vivian. Vivian's real good.
Vanilla Creme.
Vanilla Creme.
Vanilla Creme is also Tracy Martel. Just kidding. Winner, chicken. But when it comes to Drag Race, if I ever were to do Drag Race, for some odd reason, I definitely think I would struggle with Snatch Game the most because I could do Bobby Hill, that's about it. And that doesn't really count as a celebrity. But who would you do for Snatch Game?
Honestly, Katy Perry.
Oh, that's fair.
Because I can turn that, and she's hilarious.
That is really
I would do American Idol Katy Perry.
If I had to do Snatch Game, I would do. I don't know if it technically. I would say it counts as celebrity. I would do Governor Kay Ivey of Alabama. Ooh. Which I think is an incredible idea. Because not a lot of people, unless you're, an Alabamian, you're not really going to know of Kay Ivey. And she is a celebrity. If I had to do another celebrity, though, who wasn't a politician, I guess you would say, and who wasn't Bobby Hill, I would probably honestly do Trisha Paytas. I've always kind of said I would do Trisha Paytas, and then Spice and Sugar came on and did it so horribly.
Has anyone ever done Trisha Paytas good on Snatch Game?
I think she was the only one.
No.
Candy Muse did it in the audition tape. But I would do an incredible Trisha Paytas. I would pull out a pizza box and start crying and eating the pizza.
Enough.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's probably who I would do as a celebrity. I, for the longest time, thought Roseanne Barr, but, she got a little controversial. So, also thought Rosie O'Donnell, but then Mistress did her. I
also kind of thought of maybe even Aaliyah Michelle Rao.
That would be hilarious. Yeah. And just, oh my God.
I would do literally Glee Leah Michelle. I wouldn't even do Leah Michelle. I would do Rachel Berry.
Yeah. Rachel Berry. Or even Kurt.
No.
I am not the boy next door. Yeah.
I'm so weak.
Yeah. If you had to audition right now, who would you audition as?
Well, definitely now Rachel Berry, because I never even thought about that. I don't know. That's just not one thing that I really thought a lot on. I just know what I do.
I would struggle. I've openly admitted I would struggle so hard in Snatch Game.
Me too.
I would be 100%. Bricks. I think that's the tea with picking someone who no one really knows, or even picking someone who's not real, is you can kind of make up whatever. And if you listen and pay attention, I can be a little bit funny. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'll let you.
Yeah, I can't be. Girl, you were laughing. We literally just watched the YouTube video,
and we were both
and you were
hilarious.
Dying. So thank you. You're welcome. Funny. But if I pick someone who was a made up character, Bobby Hill, I could do really well because look at the material.
Because that's somebody that yeah.
That's me. I am Bobby Hill. I'm the Hill of Bobby. But if I had auditioned right now, I would probably pick Abby. Do some homophobic jokes.
We love homophobia. Speaking of Snatch Game, this week's episode of RuPaul's Drag Race was in fact the Snatch of the game.
So let's buckle our seatbelts and get ready to
rate these
queens. With yet another Snatch Game down, it's time to get into Season 16 Snatch.
And turn our review into a review.
So, unfortunately, Megami, no, she just went home. I'm very sad.
She shouldn't have.
I'm very sad.
But we felt that way about a couple of these eliminations. So.
Yeah. I mean, even when showing, an outside perspective view, someone else, the lip sync, they were confused as well. Mm-hmm. And you were here when this happened. You saw the confusion on their face. Mm-hmm. It's not right. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Whitney said it, but it's not okay.
Mm-hmm. It's not right, but it's okay.
Yeah. And then Tsunami walked into the workroom, and I low-key forgot she was on the season again.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's fading into the background.
She was out there for a minute, but she's falling back.
And we find out that Maya actually wanted to send Megami home, which I'm a little curious about that. What do you mean? What do you mean? Was there something that we missed? Yeah,
there had to have been something that we missed. There had to have been something off camera because
I'm thinking that maybe Megami was like, I don't care if she can do a flip. This is a slow song, and I'm going to sell the emotions, and she's not going to be able to do it. But, I mean, in my opinion, she didn't do it. She took off her shoes.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Canceled.
But Plasma just won, which we hear about 17 times in about 30 seconds.
I'm happy for her, though. This is her second win.
I'm glad you're happy for her. Mm-hmm. And I'm happy for Morphine calling out Tsunami for being a slut. I was very, very here for that. I thought that was very juicy couture, yummy, delicious.
It was brought up the previous episode too, but this one was a little more in depth.
It was a lot more in depth.
This tea was piping hot.
And it's just in time for the library to be open with this piping hot tea, as we're just, throwing shade everywhere. We're putting on the reading glasses and we're ready to read. And the glasses this season, the glasses were everything.
The glasses were glassesing.
The glasses were glassesing. And in the middle of reading, Tsunami actually admits wanting to play.
Literally.
Which I was so here for it. I was like, yes, more juicy tea. More juicy tea.
I'm so weak.
Yeah.
It was iconic.
And then Tsunami also reads Plasma asking where she was on January 6th, which I have been saying this whole time. This is what the Plasma energy has been given. And that's all I'm going to say on that note. But the Queen of Flops, quoted by Morphine at Maya, which I thought was hilarious. But through all this, we see Tsunami actually wins the reading challenge, which I agree with. It was pretty funny. Especially, with her admitting her fantastic love for Plain Jane.
Everybody was like, girl.
Gagged, yeah.
Girl.
And this time she actually did not fit in.
No, she was actually pretty funny.
Mm-hmm. And then RuPaul tells us that this episode is Snatch Game, which we knew from the previous episode, the preview. And I'm super excited for this. We got our little topic of slaying today about Snatch Game, so we're a little educated, little mind expanded about it. So let's get into it. We have Dawn being very smart about her Snatch Game choice. She is choosing someone that she hates, and that is also kind of hated by the general public. Mm-hmm. So it is very, very easy to make it funny because you just kind of make her look dumb. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Her look was giving. I was living for her face. I am so glad that she's stepping out of that elf character look with her makeup and stepping more into more of a glam look, more of a softer beat.
Yeah. And she really, whenever she talks about doing this, she promises that, and then she very much so delivers. We also hear that Tsunami is doing a made-up character, which is also a very smart idea. Mm-hmm. She's planning to do the Gold Tooth Fairy.
Wow.
And then in the middle of discussing all this, we have an incredible moment where Chad Michaels walks in with RuPaul to further in detail discuss all of the Snatch Game choices before we get into the Snatch Game. And we find out that Morphine is doing a scam artist. Maya is doing a loud person, which I'm very confused about because that is the total opposite of Maya. And then we see Dawn call out Lux for kissing whenever she is talking about Saphira's choice, which I do agree. Mm-hmm. Both Lux and Saphira, they're both doing the kissing of the ass. And I mean, hey, you gotta play the game somehow. Mm-hmm. You gotta play the game somehow. We also see in the workroom that Nymphia chooses to do Jane Goodall only because a banana will be involved. This is disgusting.
I'm over the banana.
I'm so over the banana, and I'm so over her making horrible decisions because of
a banana.
A banana. Anyways, we then find out that the immunity potion expires in 3 weeks.
Yep.
Which is top 6.
Yeah.
So I'm a little confused as to why they kind of drug it out.
I was like, because it's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Plain doesn't have any reason to use it thus far.
It was very interesting.
So, I guess we'll see if she has to use it this episode.
Mm-hmm. But then we get into the actual Snatch Game, Season 16's Snatch Game, which overall was pretty good. We're going to go through and talk about the characters just a little bit. We had Q playing Amelia Earhart. I thought she looked incredible.
She did. Honestly,
she looked really good.
She did very good in general.
Yeah.
With that.
When it came to the actual Snatch Game, I'm not going to lie, it was kind of just an annoying version of Q, which really is just Q. There really was no in detail character plot or development with it, in my opinion. It was decent, right? Know? But once again, she looked incredible.
Oh, she definitely got the Amelia look down.
Yeah, and it was very cutesy makeup too. Yeah,
I honestly expected worse. It was great from what I would have expected. It wasn't the best, but I would definitely put her safe. Mm-hmm. She really impressed me.
We then had Tsunami, who is once again, as mentioned, playing the Gold Tooth Fairy. She was so bad. I literally wrote bad, so bad, confused. Q is outshining her.
I put no, horrible. And can we talk about the poor skit she was playing?
The what?
The poor skit. I was so over that as soon as she started it. Like, I could see it being like maybe part of your first line, and then that's it.
Well, she also ran into jokes that she couldn't really get away from, and she didn't really know the answer to.
She didn't know how that character would answer. She didn't know the character. Yeah. She literally just made the character
She was definitely one of the worst ones, in my opinion.
The look was cute, though.
I would disagree with that.
What was cute? I thought it was cute.
Yeah. But then we had Nymphia, who was another one of the bad ones, playing Jane Goodall. I literally wrote, WTF, stop. It was so bad. It was so bad that RuPaul cut her off.
I put, no. Over it, trash.
It was bad.
It was horrible.
It was very bad.
It was horrible.
The face was pretty well facing. It looked like a character. It looked like character face. But the overall portrayal was...
Even trying to portray an ape.
Yeah. It was bad.
It was horrible.
Mm-hmm. Then we had Dawn playing Meghan McCain. So funny. As mentioned, I thought it was a very smart idea to do. You know what I mean? She really just made herself look like a dumb Republican. Mm. Very smart. And as you mentioned, the makeup was completely different. I thought it was incredible. The only thing that I really saw as a negative, it was really just kind of her. Mm. Personality-wise, it was really just her.
I thought it was giving, but again, she wasn't playing that specific character. She was playing herself. So I would definitely put her safe, but I wouldn't put her in the bottom.
Yeah. Saphira was playing James Brown. This was hilarious. So incredibly good. It was
everything.
It was also very smart because we know that RuPaul's very first concert was James Brown, and we learned this even more in the workroom. But I thought it was so funny. I thought the character shoes was hilarious, and I thought the call out for it was even more hilarious. The reveal, though, made it even better. It really clicked that it was James Brown before a show and then James Brown during a show. Like when the lights hit. That was very smart and very clever.
Yeah, it was definitely a fantastic start to it. The outfit change was clean. It was everything. It was definitely needed. And, I mean, it was everything. It was hilarious. And I'm not gonna lie, at the beginning, I was like, I hope she brings a little bit more. Because it was great, but I wanted just a little bit more. And she did.
Yeah.
Like, A+.
Plasma was playing the Broadway legend Patti LuPone. I don't know. I feel like she got barely any airtime. That could have just been me. I feel like she got one or two questions, and I just wrote down Fran Dresser. She sounded so much like Fran Dresser.
I wrote down I was catching on to the talking fast on this one. She was talking way too fast. If she would have just slowed it down a little bit, it would have been fantastic.
Which, I mean, Patti LuPone does speak very quickly, but you're on television. Right. You gotta slow down, you know what I mean?
Right. She was just all one note.
Yeah.
She just, like, chose a path and she stuck with it.
Which I think is kind of a shocker for Plasma doing a Snatch Game, which is, I mean, essentially acting, and her doing a Broadway legend who, I mean, she's that theater girl. She is the theater girl of the season. So it's a little confusing to me why she flatlined so much. Like, I really wasn't expecting that. We even talked about, you know, I mentioned to you that I had watched Roscoe's, and, you know, you're a little upset about that. She had mentioned she had mentioned possibly having 2 wins. She accidentally leaked it. I thought she had accidentally leaked it, but then you reminded me that she did have 2 wins already previously. And I was assuming that she was going to win the Snatch Game. That was her other win. But she didn't. And she actually kind of just flatlined in the Snatch Game. It was very interesting.
I was saying, for me to have something wrong with it, because I've been impressed with her. Side note from you.
Yeah. Someone who I've been impressed with who also flatlined was Morphine playing Anna Delvey. I thought it was very dry, and it got worse through and through, and it became, as many people quoted, cringy.
I put meh, no. And then she also went with a Rich and Poor skit as well.
Yeah.
And 2 of them at the same time, especially, it was just not it. I mean, I really don't have...
They were also kind of played back to back, I feel like, which made it even worse.
It's almost like once they both realized that they were both doing it, they were playing off each other, almost.
And I feel like, they did play off of each other.
I think they did.
Yeah. Someone who actually kind of shocked me in the Snatch Game was Maya, who was playing Shaquita, Trina's cousin.
And Maya has not had a good run thus far.
Yeah, and she was actually funny. She really went there. She played a made-up character, which I felt like was a very smart idea. And I thought she just let loose. And that's really what the judges, and I feel like myself included, not as a judge, obviously, as a viewer.
A viewing judge.
A viewing judge, of course, of course. That's what I wanted, was just her to let loose, have fun. And she really did that. She, you know, said that she was portraying her friends. And I feel like that's a very smart idea to do whenever you are in a stress environment and you do have that fear of just letting loose. I thought it was very smart, and she did it. She really did well.
She actually pulled it off. I was worried for her because, again, she hasn't had a great run. But she had a great start to it, and it definitely got better as it went on. Again, I feel like she just finally climbed out of her shell. So we'll see going further.
And then one of the best, of course, in the Snatch Game was playing Jane, and I'm going to mess this name up so much, playing Jelena Larasha, ?
I thought it was yelling.
Maybe it was. I don't know. It was hilarious. And quotes that I wrote down that I will literally take to my deathbed was, "You're a very ugly man," and was also, "Golden Girls is new to me in Serbia."
I'm so weak.
Those are lines that I will repeat on the daily from now. Yeah.
I was living for it. It was funny. She killed it. She was hilarious. She really embraced her character. I mean, I guess it goes back to, like, her heritage. So, slay. She's bringing in her culture.
And she actually did a pretty well of, like, making herself into a new person. You know what I mean? I thought she did very, very well with that.
And as always, her face is beat to the gods, mama.
Getting into the workroom, Tsunami thinks that she actually did good, which I'm very confused about. And Saphira immediately clocks her down quick and was like, "No, girl, you did not do good. Let me tell you real quick." And then she also, it was something that I found was interesting, is Saphira says that she should send Plain Jane over to read her and get her together. And I'm like, "No, girl, you just did that."
Right.
Wait, you fully did that. We're good here. She knows she did not do good. And yeah, I agree. She did not do good.
She didn't.
Period.
She didn't.
Mm-hmm. We see a lot of people start begging for the potion, but the first one to start is Morphine. She starts begging Plain Jane for her immunity potion really quick. Plain lies to her to get her off, and thus starts the pleading. Everyone, well, not everyone. I feel like Tsunami and Nymphia are the only others to plead and beg for the potion.
Right.
But I thought this was very interesting. You know, all of a sudden they want Plain Jane's help, so then they start to like her.
Right. Exactly. I would say, especially being a couple of them are starting to feel a little more comfortable being shady because of Plain Q.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
Brainwashed.
And then we see a couple of in-depth stories. We see Plain talk about her family and her history. And I honestly think this is a very important story. I feel like, especially during, you know, the moments where U.S. is not really in great terms with Russia, I feel like it's important to see, you know, it's not all what it's portrayed to be.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. There's still family. There's still people. They have a story too. And I thought it was honestly very moving, as well as the other one who was Saphira. You know, she talks about her dad being was it UFC fighter?
Something like that.
FFC, something like that. And her dad not being very supportive until the very end. And her mom stepping in and being like, if you're not going to be supportive, then specifically, I remember her saying, her mom said, I'd rather my son be gay than my son be dead. And that really spoke to me. I remember sitting here and being like, wow, that really hit. And I'm not moved by Drag Race things, because Drag Race to me is fun. You know, it's not supposed to be sad, but that was very moving to me. Because I feel like a lot of people should see that.
Yeah, it definitely had me in my feelings, because sometimes life's a and you have to be able to feel it. Because if not, it's just going to tear you down.
But enough of the sad stories. Let's get into the runway and these overall ratings for these queens. With the runway being Dancing Queen. And just a side note, RuPaul looks amazing. RuPaul looked so good.
It was amazing.
Head to toe. Head to toe.
Head, shoulders, knees and toes.
Two totally different sides of the story.
But
RuPaul looked absolutely incredible.
Everything.
Getting into these queens, first on the runway we had Q. Q is a no. I got that she was supposed to be doing the robot. She was representing robot. It was a no. And RuPaul calls it out. That's how white people dance. Very true. Specifically at Q. And in the Snatch Game, she had a very mid Snatch Game. She was, you know, overly pretty cute. Nothing too special. She was a mild 6 for me.
I honestly loved her runway. I loved the colors, the color scheme especially, and just the way it looked. It definitely fit the theme that she was going for, and fit the rollerblade idea too. So I thoroughly loved it. Her Snatch Game, I mean, she looked great. She could have sold it a little bit more, but I'm gonna give her a 9.
Oh.
She's my number 4 for the week.
Oh, wow. Next up, we had Tsunami, who was giving salsa on the runway. You love this. I thought it was very basic. I specifically remember when this season was being, you know, like behind the scenes, people were plotting the season, speculated cast. This was the picture they used for her all the time in this outfit. So I immediately knew this outfit, and it gave very basic drag outfit. In the Snatch Game, horrible. I did not like it at all. To me, Tsunami this week was a 3.
I thought her runway was sickening. I thought it fit the theme. I thought it was simple, but I feel like it was the right kind of simple without going the wrong way with it, especially being it is more Latina culture. So I think she did it very well. Her Snatch Game, horrible. It was trash. Only because of her runway, I'm gonna give her a 6.
Oh wow, the runway. Really
I was generous this episode.
Someone who was also not that good this episode was Nymphia, who was serving a little Japanese buta, and then this outfit was. It was so good. It was so incredibly good. Head to toe. Head to toe. I can't. It was really in detailed. It was incredible. It was smart. It was very cute. Bad in the Snatch Game. Very, very bad. Go back. Not funny. Horrible. For me, Nymphia was a 5. She was bumped up specifically because of the runway.
Her runway culture. The culture was everything. I love that how much she includes her culture into her drag. Mm-hmm. It was just sickening and so creative. Like the creativity that she has when she actually like steps away from bananas and actually focuses. She can actually do some stuff. Her Snatch Game was honestly probably the worst I've ever seen. But because of her runway, it's bumped it up to a 7.
I can't believe you're giving these people this high. I'm a little gagged.
Well, it's either I loved the Snatch Game, hated the runway, or loved the runway, hated the Snatch Game, or loved both.
Like, usually our scores are pretty similar, but they're whack. They're really whack this time.
Their runways are saving them.
I guess so. Dawn was serving a little polka on the runway. I thought this was very pretty. I thought it was very different for Dawn. Dawn's usually, like, out of the world crazy, you know what I mean? Very space themed. She's a character. This was very calm and very cutesy. I loved it. In the Snatch Game, I thought she was mid-material. She had funny moments. She was cute as well in the Snatch Game. For me, Dawn was a solid 6.
I thought her runway was everything. Hands down. And just, again, with her creativity that she has, because she hasn't been in the bottom yet.
No.
And I can see why. Her Snatch Game, she was hilarious. I was living for it. I definitely did get safe vibes. But because of her runway, I'm going to give her a 9.
Saphira on the runway was giving Drag You Majorette, who I thought was very smart. I thought it was incredibly smart to kind of give... It was very kiss. Very kiss.
But sometimes, girl...
Sometimes it works. Sometimes. But it was cute. It was very smart to mix both the history and an actual dance. And also with those two. Like, very, anyways. The Snatch Game was incredible. Funny. One of my favorites. Smart. Kiss episode for Saphira. But for me, Saphira this week was a 9.
Okay. For her runway, I was living for the comedy that she was bringing out a little bit of. It was everything. Her outfit, I did not expect, but it looked so good on her. It was so perfect.
And the hair.
The Snatch Game, she killed. She slayed. I'm going to give her a 10. She's really impressed me this week. She's my number 2.
Someone who we were expecting to impress us, but did not as much, was Plasma, who was serving a little tap on the runway. I thought the outfit itself was pretty boring and pretty basic Plasma, but I really did like that she was tapping. And the outfit was cute. It was just very, like mentioned, boring. And in the Snatch Game, once again, kind of boring, kind of faded in the background for me. So overall, this week, Plasma was a 7.
I thought it was pretty okay. I loved that, again, she tap danced the whole time, which was I was impressed with that. I guess it's the same as you. Like, the outfit was everything, but it was very simple. She
it looked like she literally just grabbed one of her outfits and was like, "Oh, tap shoes."
She played safe with it. Yeah, is what she did. She didn't do anything musical. Yeah. I mean, I kind of lost her a little bit. I'm gonna give her an 8.
Yeah, she was very mid this week. Someone who was also pretty mid was Morphine, who was serving a little flamenco on the runway. I thought it was very, very stunning. It was honestly giving me a lot of West Side Story. I was obsessed with it. As for the Snatch Game, she was not really giving anything. She was pretty meh, pretty boring, and ended very, very bad. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to give Morphine a 3. I went pretty low for Morphine, to be honest.
I thought her runway was everything. And that body, and I'll say it every time, that girl got a body.
She does.
That BBL.
She BBLing.
Exactly. Her Snatch Game was not it. It was trash. It was horrible. Her runway really boosted her score for me, so I'm going to put it at a 6.
Next up, we have Maya, who was giving a little 90s hip-hop. I hated it. I thought it was gross. The hair was disgusting. The pads looked weird to me. And on the Snatch Game, it was actually serving. She served pretty well in the Snatch Game. She did very well. I was shocked, appalled by the runway, shocked by the Snatch Game. For me, she was a mid-5.
Her runway, first off, the hair.
Yeah.
Horrible. It looked nothing like what she was referencing. Like the groups that she was referencing wouldn't wear that.
Well, also, and the judges kept saying that they got it immediately, and I was like, "What?
How
did you get it? Well, I don't get it."
Me either. She was referencing like all these girl groups, and it was horrible. But I mean, her snatch game, she really impressed me. So because of her snatch game, I put her at an 8.
Next up, we have our phase of the week, which was Plain serving a little Latin ballroom, which we have known from the previous episode that she did have a connection with that in her younger years. I thought this was very stunning, very beautiful. Back rolls.
Back rolls! Alyssa Edwards is back girl.
As far as her snatch game, she was my favorite in the snatch game. She was hilarious. For me, Plain was a solid 10.
Her runway, sickening. Mm-hmm. I would wear that. That was everything. It was simple, but it was a good simple.
Back rolls included.
Bitch, I ain't got back rolls, first off. I don't know. The back rolls shocked me because I was the one that noticed it.
Yeah,
and it shocked me. I didn't realize Alyssa Edwards is in the house, girl. Her snatch game was everything. I was living for it. So she's a solid 10. She's my number 1 for the week.
Slay. Giving her a perfect score this week.
Slay.
Get it. Okay, Saphira, calm down. Getting to the runway, we see that Plain saves her potion.
Yeah.
We kind of figured that. And Michelle thought that Plain's person was fake. She did it so well to the point where she just conveyed a crazy character.
She thought Plain made it up.
Yeah, that's insane. And through this, we see that Plain does win this week.
So now we take some damage.
This is her second week winning? Or her second time winning?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Ooh.
She hasn't been in the bottom yet.
No. Saphira is safe and gives a little jantasy in the background.
Mm-hmm.
A little upsetness. It's okay. And we see Tsunami and Morphine in the bottom 2, with the song being I Want to Dance with Somebody by the legendary Whitney Houston.
It's my song, girl.
It is your song.
It's my alley.
This was an incredible song choice. I loved it.
It was everything.
Everything. And of course, Morphine slayed this lip sync, obviously winning. Rightfully deserved, in my opinion.
100%.
Rightfully deserved.
Hands down. She worked that stage. Mm-hmm. She gave everything.
And through this, we of course see Tsunami is the next queen to sashay away.
Mm-hmm. Morphine calling Tsunami in.
Yes.
It was living. It was very charisma, uniqueness, urban talent. Mm-hmm. And can we talk about how we found out that apparently she lost some nails during the lip sync?
That was gaggy.
That we clearly missed, like the whole Geneva wearing the same shoe thing.
That was gaggy. But it does make sense with our scores because we do have Tsunami in the lower ranking with 9, as well as Morphine being the other lower ranking with 9. No one else really came close to that. The only closer one we had was Nymphia with 12, which makes perfect sense. And I feel like we both agree that her runway saved her, as well as the judges agreed. Mm-hmm. And the perfect score this week was Plain Jane, which makes total sense because she won. Mm-hmm. And runner-up, in my opinion, was Saphira.
100%.
And with our points, it shows with 19 points as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes perfect sense. Next time, we have an interesting episode for Drag Race, where they're going to be creating a neo-goth look. And this is very interesting to me because they didn't mention that it was a ball.
Yeah,
but
we were a little confused.
I don't really remember the last time they just created an outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it was an unconventional material outfit, which they didn't say that.
Mm-hmm.
They were picking, stuff.
Yeah, it really didn't spell it out like it normally does.
I don't know. Super interesting. But with Drag Race Season 16 over, we're going to slide into UK versus the World, which was a very interesting episode.
It was.
We're not going to fully get into it like we do with Season 16, but just to quickly touch base. Arantxa just went home last week, which is very, 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 very sad.
Very unfortunate.
And in the workroom, we see that Kita actually picked Teresa's lipstick, which is a little bit gaggy, I'm not going to lie.
Uh-huh.
I feel like the girls, myself, and everyone included, was a little bit gagged.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
I was, mm-hmm. This was a gaggy episode.
Gaggy, yeah.
This was a gaggy episode, even at the very end, girl.
And the challenge this episode was Drag Race World, which was an acting challenge where they were split into groups, and the team leaders were the top 2 of last week, which was La Grande Dame and Kidda Minaj. And then the other surviving from last week, which was Theresa May.
Mm-hmm.
So we had those group challenges. And the runway was Reveal Yourself, which we actually just recently saw on Drag Race Season 16.
And we actually knew that it was a reveal this time.
Yeah, we actually did. And this episode, we had Scarlett and Tia in the top 2, which makes perfect sense for me. And yeah. And Jombers and Kidda Minaj in the bottom 2, which also, in my opinion, makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
And Scarlett slays this lip sync. We kept talking repeatedly about the outfit that she was wearing because it was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And
the hair was everything.
We were very worried because it was Tia Kofi and Scarlett, 2 people who really are not known for being great entertainers.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very excited to see what they brung, and Scarlett really, really slayed.
Tia started out good, but she just stayed on one note. She just kept doing the same
I don't know.
thing.
In my opinion, my eyes never went to Tia.
I noticed her when she was at the back of the stage, and that was really about it.
Mm-hmm. But through this, we see that Scarlett does slay and wins, sending Jombers home, which I thought was interesting.
Which was gaggy. We for sure thought Keta was going home.
Hands
down.
And especially, with Scarlett mentioning that she was here to play the game and she was not afraid to send home the strongest competition. And then she kind of has a change of heart, and she openly admits on stage, hey, I'm not doing this based on, track record in the sense of strengths. I'm doing it based on track record in the sense of weaknesses, which is very smart of her because she now has an even higher target on her back. So why would you openly admit that? I thought that was stupid from the beginning, but whatever.
Can we talk about Keta and no nails? Because ain't no one mentioned it nor call her out for it. Wear nails on the Drag Race stage. That was a little
confusing to me. And I'm the one who was like, no nails, ? And it's my fantasy. I like to have nails every time I'm in drag. It's not meant for everyone, allegedly. I feel like it just defines your polishedness and your professionalism, especially if you should know your if you should know your body type. And I'm sorry, but she has man hands.
I am not one that wears nails all the time because I perform every week and I do cartwheels and stuff. When it comes to pageants, I wear them. Yeah. If I go watch something,
if you're on national television,
I wear them.
Yeah.
I'm the only time I don't wear them is when I'm performing in my local bar.
And we see that next time is Snatch Game Family Edition, which was first seen on UK vs. the World Season 1. And I'm pretty excited for this. We just had it on this episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 16, and now we're going to have it next episode.
I love that they kept the family Snatch Game.
Yeah, I do too. It was a very, very smart idea.
Especially because it was such a big gap between the seasons.
Don't forget to catch the new season of RuPaul's Drag Race on MTV every Friday.
And of course, come to the channel every Wednesday to listen to us break these queens.
New. With February coming to an end, there's been a lot of preparation for a very busy birthday season for me this year. So let's get into all the new things to come. So starting off, you can actually catch Amber in the preferred brunch alongside Amber Xerxes, Deja Amore, and special guest Puddin', coming to you March 9th at DDC at 1 p.m. You can easily click on any of our social medias, the link in our social media, and you can find tickets. If you get tickets online, they are $15, so you'll be saving $5, because if you get them in person, they are $20. And that includes your food, your drag show, and if you pay a little bit extra money, you can get a little buzz.
And we're actually selling some tickets. So.
Yeah. So
get them before they all go.
Make sure to go ahead and purchase them, because they'll make your life a whole lot easier. And I want to duly note that all of that money goes to the entertainers. So you purchase a ticket, you are helping your entertainer. And that preferred brunch being the Broadway collection, where we all represent a musical theater, musical production. And, we've mentioned it several times, but just to go back down the line, you have Amber representing the Phantom of the Opera, myself representing Grease, Amber representing Hairspray, Deja representing Mean Girls, and Puddin' representing Wicked. So it's going to be a really good show.
I'm excited.
1 p.m. Don't miss it.
1 p.m.
And then that night, we actually have the preferred show. This is the 5th installment of the preferred show, I believe. Yeah, the 5th. Wow, crazy to think about. And as mentioned, it is my birth month. So the preferred show is the birthday ball. And we have special guests being Cam and the repeating guest put in for that night, as well as Deja Moore and Inspector Gadget, which are the 2 local entertainers of Dothan, hosted by, of course, yours truly, myself, the birthday girl. So it's going to be a really fun night. This is kind of, there's usually a theme to every single The Preferred show. And although there is a theme for this one, which is, my birthday, this one's very relaxed. It's just the theme of party. That's literally what I texted everyone when I started the group chat. I said, just party. That's the theme. Party, have a good time, fun. My birthday fun and party does not stop there because I am accepting bookings for my birthday month. So make sure if you want to see me in your local area to give a twirl, just send me a message on any of my socials at The Only Preferred. And I'm very easily negotiable. I don't really do drag for money. Unfortunately, I still had to ask for money because life is not cheap.
Neither is drag.
Drag is not cheap. Gas is definitely not cheap. And I gotta eat, so a little $50 here and there.
it takes a pretty penny to look as cheap as what we do.
It does. But with a little bit of a negotiation, I promise you, it's not hard to get me, girl. As long as the environment is clean, nice, and productive. Provide me some water, or even better. I don't ask for much. I just need gas.
This one likes to almost pass on stage.
But speaking of events, I have a brand new website up and running, which you can find at The Only Preferred on Google Sites. And this is where you can literally see all of the events, see all of the preferred shows that have come and gone and are to come, as well as the preferred fews, get more in detail information about them, and some newer news, such as this. I said that so fast. such as this that we're speaking of right now. You can find all of this information on the brand new website. So yeah, it's all there for you, and it makes my life so much easier. So you should just click it. You can also get your tickets there for the brunch. So yeah, just click that website.
We love upgrading.
We do.
We love upgrades. With those exciting new events coming up,
it's time to get into your exciting new questions.
All right, so your question reads, does it matter how many people your partner has been with?
Wow.
Yes or no? And why?
Wow.
Oh, I had a worse one, and I wanted to just delete them both and turn it into a 2-part question. But I'll save the other question for next time.
No. I really don't think I am. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Not really. It's more so if there's specific people. Does that make sense? If it's like a specific connection. I don't think the count really matters.
Well, I hope it doesn't matter to you, girl, because your count. Okay, fine.
Yeah, I don't really think it matters.
Is that a conversation you would have with your partner? Me either.
Not in the sense
unless it was like
matter.
needed.
It just doesn't matter.
I'd say if there was a reason for it, then yeah, but like.
And I think a lot of it's because I've surrounded myself with people who have higher body counts, not including myself,
or me.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters. I don't think I've ever had that conversation with a romantic partner because it doesn't matter to me. Anyways, your question is thoughts on smoking.
Smoking what?
It just says thoughts
cereal?
On smoking. I love smoking cereal.
I love smoking cereal. Smoking
nice
cereal.
Fat bowl of cereal. That's my favorite.
definitely support smoking cereal. As long as you do it properly, because it is a substance. Smoking cigarettes, absolutely disgusting. I was a smoker for 8 years, I think.
7 years.
8 years. And I quit 2 years ago. I do vape, but it definitely does not take a toll on me like cigarettes do. Cigarettes stink. However, when I'm drinking and having a good time and partying, sometimes a cigarette tastes good. So
yeah, it's mainly the cigarette smell.
I regret it the next day after though because
this smell. And also it makes you feel icky.
And that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. What about a partner who smokes?
That's fine. Just don't do it in the house.
Yeah. And also spray yourself when you come in.
And like People that smoke that are in my car, I like, that's fine as long as you roll the window down.
See, though, I hate smoking in cars. I never allow anyone to smoke cigarettes in my car.
Mm-hmm. And like, your window has to be rolled down. Now, I have a small car, so if the window's rolled down, like, you're good. Like, be lucky the wind isn't catching your cigarette.
Mm-hmm. Don't forget, you can ask us a question by simply clicking the link in both of our bios.
Billy, don't make me go grab my gun. Go ask a question now.
I regretted that decision.
Now.
Well, with that happening and us all being talked out, it's time to end the episode. Make sure to follow all of my socials at The Only Preferred for brand new videos, shows, and looks. And I just had a brand new look come out. Red Hot Snapshot. Snapshot. Yeah, it's really good.
We love us a good snapshot. Mm-hmm. While you're following her, follow me on all my socials at Amber_V_Valentine for new looks, new videos, and some behind the scenes of the whole Preferred franchise. And I also just recently dropped some new looks and some pictures. And my fantasy was everything leopard print. If it's not leopard print, it's irrelevant.
Comment who your favorite was in this episode of RuPaul's Drag Race.
And follow for more episodes of the Preferred podcast every Wednesday on Spotify and YouTube.
It's been nice talking.
And we'll talk to you later.
Stay preferred.
And full of love.